Hi, everybody. It's meteorologist Joe Chaffee on this Friday as we have this storm system finally pulling away out of the northeast and actually getting a little bit of drying. We're starting to see something we haven't seen around here in a while, and that's the sun. So the overnight rains are over with. Everything is moving away to the northeast, but there will be some leftover clouds, and you'll notice that there's clouds back on the west side that are moving southeastward, so there'll probably be more clouds around during the afternoon, and I wouldn't be surprised if there are a couple of passing showers that go by. But at least with the onshore flow gone and wind more from the west or northwest today, we should that plus any kind of brightening, so temperatures will be able to bounce up into the 70s instead of the way they were yesterday, where they basically stayed in the upper 50s and low 60s. Now we do have a couple of weak disturbances out into the west. You can see one rolling up into parts of Iowa and another one back up in the northern Rockies. And this is going to make the weekend forecast a little bit problematic in that some of these weak systems are going to be moving through from time to time. And models have kind of flipped a little bit in terms of what they're emphasizing. Looks like we might get into some rain or showers Saturday night, late Saturday afternoon, Saturday night in our area of the Northeast. And then we'll maybe basically dry until on Monday, when there could be some scattered showers or maybe even a thunderstorm. I think most of the weekend is going to wind up being rain-free. Out in the west, you can see the back edge of those two disturbances, very quiet along the west coast. We've got a storm way out in the Pacific. There really isn't too much happening other than the usual morning low clouds that occur out in the Pacific. And with respect to the radar, here's the system now departing the eastern United States, the weak one that's in the middle, and the one back in the Rockies. Otherwise, it's actually pretty quiet. Now, I'm going to take you through the severe weather risk for the weekend so that you'll have some idea where we're going with this. Today, with respect to severe weather, there's going to be a marginal risk from Indiana on straight westward across the middle Mississippi Valley into western Kansas and parts of Nebraska and Colorado, and even into southeastern Wyoming, where we have a slight risk and a general area of thunderstorms that goes from the Rockies over to the Appalachians and basically north of 35 degrees north. So that's the risk for today. However, that risk really increases tomorrow. There's a large area of risk for severe thunderstorms, including a large area of slight risk that runs from the mid-Atlantic states west-southwestward across the middle Mississippi Valley into North Texas, and an area of enhanced risk from eastern Oklahoma, northern Arkansas, in through Missouri, southern Illinois, western Kentucky, and western Tennessee. So a pretty busy day with respect to thunderstorms tomorrow. There's even a risk for thunderstorms up into the mountains of northern California on up to southern Oregon. Sunday, we'll jump to Sunday now, and you can see the slight risk runs from Texas on up into the Ohio Valley, larger area of marginal risk, and a good chunk of the United States at risk for thunderstorms, general thunderstorms, scattered, except for the northeast, parts of the western parts of the northern and central plains, and the southwestern part of the United States. And as for Memorial Day, it's still a little bit too low to predict, according to the Storm Prediction Center. Now, here's the situation with regards to Saturday night. And here's this disturbance that's coming out Saturday night, and it actually, at least on the GFS model, producing an area of 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch of rain in parts of the Hudson Valley, northern New Jersey, and into western Connecticut, with lighter rains on either side. You know, these things are always so tricky. You can see it here on the surface. There's a weak low that comes out, actually a not so weak low, that comes out of northern Ohio, moves across western Pennsylvania. This is for Saturday afternoon, so at this point, it's probably still mostly dry, but then we get into Saturday night, and we'll probably get into some showers. And once that goes by, it looks like we'll be okay until Monday. There's a weather front that'll be approaching on Monday with the chance for some showers and thunderstorms at some point. But my main concern is whether there's an onshore flow, and there is going to be one on Sunday, so that's at least to start the day, and that's going to keep temperatures cooler than they otherwise would be. So if there's any kind of ocean wind, that's going to keep temperatures down a bit. If not, we should at least be into the 70s. So we're going to get a wider view so you can get a whole look at what's going on across the U.S. And we'll see how it's... I hope everybody's going to have a great weekend. So here's that first low that runs out for Saturday. And here's the system that is moving out of New Mexico and into Missouri. That is going to be the severe weather producer tomorrow, where we have that large area of enhanced risk being indicated across the middle Mississippi Valley. And then it gets to the East Coast on Monday with a front and some scattered showers and thunderstorms, perhaps more activity as you go into the mid-Atlantic and down into the Gulf states. The West doesn't really look all that bad, just kind of typical scattered showers and some thunderstorms. And moving through next week, we do have weather fronts that are going to be coming through. I don't know that it could get especially warm. Toward the end of next week, with the high going offshore, we might have a day or two where temperatures may try to get warm, or at least punch up into the 80 or better, before another front comes through late next week. You can see it here with a high that builds down into the Great Lakes. So this is setting us up for some cool weather next weekend. We are going to be in a pattern where weather systems are moving along, and that means that we'll probably not be able to warm up for more than a day or two. And we'll put the upper air on and take a look at what's happening. There's a little bit of blocking showing up again on the GFS. It's kind of weak, but you sort of see it there. Here's our system for today that lifts up. We get a bit of a ridge position over the weekend. Here's the next trough that moves over into the Great Lakes, and then it just sort of rotates around and around. There are higher than normal pressures and heights across the North Atlantic, so that's going to displace the trough further south, and really no sign of any kind of big ridge building in the eastern part of the United States, at least anytime during the next couple of weeks. And then out in the west, it looks like after some calm weather, we go into next weekend and beyond. You start to get to some troughing again in the west that will probably mean for some unsettled weather there. As far as the tropics are concerned, it looks pretty quiet right through the period, so we don't have any worries from that respect. Don't forget that hurricane season starts next Thursday, June 1st. All right, folks, going to keep it short today. Have a great Friday and a great holiday weekend. I'll keep you updated over the weekend. Of course, you can also check the website out, meteorologistjoechaffee.com. New York City weather, if you're headed there, a lot of activity going on in the New York City area this weekend for Memorial Day, to remember those who left this life early and gave up their lives for the freedoms that we have, and we should keep them in our memories as we go through the weekend. And of course, on Monday being Memorial Day, you can check out Angry Ben with the latest on nycweathernow.com. And thank you again for being on my YouTube channel. If you're not a subscriber, hit the little red subscribe button. It's absolutely free. Notifications when new videos come out, usually at least once a day, and more when weather conditions warrant. All right, folks, enjoy.